Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is Kayla. We are pediatric speech language pathologists and co-founders of Cheat Sheet Speech.
We created Cheat Sheet Speech to educate parents, caregivers, other providers like daycare providers on how to create a language enriching environment.
Yeah, as speech language pathologists, we have this set of tools, I guess, to help our children become confident communicators, and we want to spread the word a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it really started with having some friends and families have babies, and then also just our experience in early intervention, anyways, of parents asking us questions about how to implement these strategies, how to play with their child. So we wanted to create a space where it's like, hey, these are the things that you could be doing with your child to support their communication development. And it's really not that crazy of a thing to do, to implement.
Yeah. And also, it is kind of funny because from our perspective, play seems so easy, but play can be very hard. I think there's a lot of information out there about this is when you should feed them should be their routine, all of these different milestones they need to reach. But how do we get there? And something as simple as play and how you navigate play can help your child become a confident communicator and help build their independence in general.
Right. A lot of people think like, okay, you set like the baby up and then they're going to interact with said toy the way they're going to interact with. But this is actually an opportunity to model different ways to play or to model language in those moments to help them start to develop language because they're actually soaking in their environment at that time. So trying to provide the different important people in a child's life with the ways to support that best.
Yeah, in speech therapy, we talk about how prevention is key, especially I work in a lot of early intervention settings. So I'm in daycares and schools and homes, and we're like, prevention is key, like early screeners, things like that. But really, prevention starts with the caregiver, whoever is going to be there playing and sitting with that child, providing them these tools so that they can use language strategies from the start is going to be so beneficial to creating that confident communicator.
Yeah, and sometimes too, people I think like you have to have something that's maybe differing from what you would expect in order to come to speech therapy. But we actually have this tool set, like you were talking about before, you can use just for any child who is developing their communication. They don't have to come to speech therapy to use these strategies.
Exactly. These strategies are for everybody. And they just are a little bit of changes to the way that you play, the way that you talk, the way you navigate your environment to help build what we call these confident communicators. So that's kind of what we're going to do on this podcast is just kind of talk about some different situations and different language strategies and ways that you can use your everyday environment and routines to help build these confident communicators.
Yeah, just kind of a conversation about what we experience in our everyday work weeks and with our friends and families who are asking us questions about their littles and how we can kind of help you navigate those situations.
Yeah. So how's your week been going?
Week's been good. We got summer going over here. Summer schedule for a speech pathologist, especially in private practice, is always a little wonky.
Yeah.
We got people taking early times, the same time. So basically, your just whole schedule is different week to week. What about you? How's Charleston?
It's good. It's so hot. And summer is ending here. I know we're both from New York, so everything used to start after Labor Day. And so here it's like the first and second week of August. Teachers go back next week, and then school starts the following week on a Tuesday, which I just feel like is so random. But get that Monday off. No one likes Mondays anyways. So we're rolling into trying to figure out school scheduling, which is just not talked about enough. Who knew? Scheduling would be half the field of speech therapy.
Yeah, you end up like resetting your schedule every quarter, and then like also a halfway in between when somebody decides to move somewhere else and you kind
Right.
of have to start all over again. We got a lot of people on vacation for me because we start more mid-August for school. So people are
Okay.
taking advantage of the beach and some pool time too.
Yeah. Our brother actually was just talking about pool time.
I know.
We have a little niece, and she is getting swim lessons for the first time, which is super exciting.
Adorable. Haven't got a video yet.
No.
We did hear though it wasn't going great.
Yes. Yeah, I know, which is so funny because our mom had told us about it, and then I texted him and was like, "How's swim going?" And he's like, "She's afraid of the big blue Wawa."
Yeah, direct quote, I think for sure. Poor thing. Yeah, I think she has been in like pools before, it sounds like, but this is like a legitimate swim lesson, and it sounds like she's alone too. Like there's not other people in the pool, which is making it seem a little bit bigger and scary. Small fish in a big pond.
Right. And as any speech language pathologist would do, we offered unsolicited advice.
That's what an SLP auntie does. They signed up for that. Sorry. Yeah, he totally did not ask us for advice, but we did give him some because surprisingly, I think maybe not a lot of people know this, but we have a lot of experience as SLPs with transitions and new environments.
Yeah, I think that people don't realize that we have to navigate these situations all the time, especially in early intervention. We're taking on new challenges like going to school for the first time or trying out the swings for the first time. Those are a lot of experiences that speech therapists navigate every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even in the clinic, it's like leaving toys behind, trying to find ways to prepare a child for something that's going to be new and different is something that we face like 9 times a day, I would say.
Oh, no one wants to clean up the toys because they don't want to go home because they're having so much fun with you.
I know, they belong to me. They're my toys. That's like their first encounter with somebody else owning the toy. So sorry.
Yeah, it's mine. You can clean it, but you got to leave it behind.
So what was some of our unsolicited advice? I got to think what we actually told him to do.
I think first we said, okay, preview the situation.
Right.
So yeah. I think this is something that people don't realize, and it's such a good tip, is that when you're putting a kid in a new environment, it can be very overwhelming and dysregulating, which I also say, like, same, right?
Yeah.
Like, I also don't like going to new environments and feel overwhelmed and dysregulated. So put yourself in this toddler's shoes. How are they feeling? They have no clue what's going to happen.
Right. They don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know what to expect, especially like in this pool situation. Like, well, I just see a giant thing of water. Like, are you seeing this too? Like, what's happening here?
Exactly. I think there's this whole piece of feeling regulated before communication comes, which is something we navigate in our sessions all the time. Mm-hmm. So we use communication. Communication is something that can help with regulation as well. So we use communication to help those situations become easier to navigate.
Right. Your child doesn't have the dialogue or that voice in your head that you do to talk you through this situation, especially if they haven't been in it before. So trying to give them an idea of what this is going to look like is huge. I really like to use books or visuals out of the context of the pool, right? So before I'm going to the pool, I will be introducing a book. We had this week, we were talking about the book Spot Goes Swimming in the Pool, I think. Yeah. Something along those lines.
Spot goes to the swimming pool. I don't know. Something about Spot.
Yeah. And just using this book to really just bring familiarity to the vocabulary of the pool. And then you can use it for more things from there too.
Right. Like in this book, it kind of explains what's going to happen so you can talk about your feelings about the pool, what you're going to feel when you get in the pool, and create that multi-sensory environment before you even get there and kind of show them what to expect. And then they can talk about it when they get there as well. Another thing you can do is use an episode if you have a kiddo who loves a certain TV show. That's something you guys do at home. Like I know people really like Bluey or Peppa Pig. They have episodes that are great. Like back to school episodes even, or like going to the pool episodes that can help kind of explain and give that language around the environment and show you here's maybe what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, you can even pause some of those episodes too to be able to provide a little bit more language around them. So like pause it, oh, Bingo just jumped in the pool. Or he has a floaty on, those different things when you're talking about the episode to provide that vocabulary and then the step by step of what to expect. I also like to use visuals too, just like a visual schedule of
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
I think too, what parents often forget is that your child doesn't necessarily have that cause effect in every situation. This happens a lot with my kids' first day of school. So they drop the kid off at school and they're like, they're so sad. I'm like, well, because they think you're never coming back.
Right.
Because they haven't had this experience of like, you're coming back. So same thing with the pool, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect. When does this end? You're telling me I'm getting ice cream later, but when is later? They don't have that concept of time. So a visual schedule can really help them see like, yes, I'm going to the pool and then I'm going to get ice cream and I can see that on there. Or first I have to put my swimsuit on. Then I have to go, to the pool and then we're going to get ice cream. And it breaks it down into little steps so it doesn't feel like this huge thing.
Right.
You can break it down into those little steps.
Right. Even breaking the pool part up into steps too. I'm going to do 5 kicks. I'm going to splash and I'm going to blow bubbles because that'll probably make it a little bit more maintainable for the child in that situation.
Builds autonomy too. Then they feel like they have control over the environment. I tell this to parents all the time. Your child doesn't necessarily feel like they're in control because they don't have control of their schedule. You're telling them when and where to go all day. And if someone was doing that to me, I'd feel overwhelmed too. So the visual schedule helps them feel a little bit more in control of like, this is what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're a little more in that driver's seat. Yeah, completely agree. The next thing I would recommend is something familiar, something comforting. This is new. This is scary. Let's bring along favorite stuffy.
Favorite stuffy. And I would dress stuffy up if you can. I think this is something that we texted our brother as well. If you have a doll, something that can, I guess
something that can swim
would be great.
Yeah,
plastic
you don't want to see her drowning in the pool.
Yeah, right. Oof. If we have like a plastic doll, dress them up, and it also gives, back to that preview experience, you can kind of practice that and they can see that. But yeah, now you're connecting environments. So you're going from your house and you're bringing it over there. It's creating that comfort, but also building that language across the environment too, and can help you not feel as alone.
Yeah. Also, the other thing about bringing like a favorite toy, especially if it's like it could be a bath toy, and then that would be able to swim in the pool, is that the toy could do it first. So you can see the toy going through. That's another way to preview almost, right? What's going to happen next. So the toy is doing it, and then maybe dad's doing it. So then you can see everyone in the pool, and that becomes a little bit more of an achievable step as the child.
Right. Like pretend play. We do this a lot in our sessions. If we're going to talk about, how is this conversation going to go? We might model conversations. I might model pretending to ask, like order ice cream. So this would be a way to, pretend play. I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do. And then you can give that a try when you're ready.
Right. When you're ready, it takes the pressure off too. If you got your mermaid out there swimming, it doesn't have to be you yet before you're able to feel comfortable going in.
Yeah. I think the last big suggestion we had is how you navigate your own communication during this situation.
Right. Bringing it back to, okay, so what does like that language look like when you actually go to the pool?
The biggest thing we see parents and caregivers do is ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, they love a good question. We can't be doing the questions because it puts so much pressure on the child. You're quizzing them in a scary place sometimes or unfamiliar place to them.
Right. Like I could ask, do you want to go in the pool?
No, immediate no. I already know their response. We're setting ourselves up for failure if we're asking the
I say it
question.
all
You're
the time.
going to get an answer you don't want. That's
Right.
actually a huge thing that SLPs do. From they learn it like in their first week of
Grad
each
school.
of
Yeah.
grad school or like in their clinic is like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm not asking that question again. Do you want that toy? Because you're never going to want the toy I'm asking you about.
Right. Or you want to go home? No. Oh, well, now you're stuck living here
Yeah.
forever. Oh, I'm here too. No, I feel like that is tricky. So
Hmm.
how you communicate is going to help that environment. I feel like the best suggestion in this situation would to be use that strategy self-talk.
Yeah, self-talk. I really love this strategy, but it's exactly what it sounds like is talking from your perspective as the caregiver or the parent, the adult.
Yeah, so it's going to look like you're at the pool. You might say, I'm putting my foot in the pool. My foot feels wet. Ooh, the pool is warm. I'm going to kick my feet. Kick, kick, kick.
Mhm. Yeah, and just narrating each of those situations that you're going through because your child doesn't have a dialogue in their head. They don't have the thoughts for this new environment yet. So, with self talk, you're able to provide them what that is going to look like by you modeling it.
You're giving them that language receptively. So you're
Mhm.
building the receptive language skills, that understanding piece, that comprehension of language skills.
Mhm.
So then they have it to use in the future. You're giving them more exposure. So you're creating that language enriching environment.
Mhm. Yeah, another thing is too, like since you're giving them vocabulary, maybe there's something that they don't like about the pool that they don't have the word for. So if you
Right.
did say like now I'm wet, and that's actually the part they don't like, they might be able to then tell you no wet for that
Mm-hmm.
moment. So maybe it's about not getting their swimsuit wet, but they'll get like their hands and feet wet.
Exactly. So you're giving them that language they can use, and just like we said before, taking that pressure off of them instead of asking them to come into the pool. They're seeing you do it. They're seeing you talk about it.
Mhm.
They're saying like they're seeing you be more comfortable. That like they're watching what you're doing. So it's creating this positive environment around this new situation, and it's not forcing them to get in the water. That was kind of the last piece of advice that we left our brother.
Yeah, we were like, it's a win if you go and she comes away in a good mood and feeling safe. It
Right.
doesn't matter
Doesn't
whether or
matter.
not she goes in the pool.
No, and she's going to have a good experience. And I think that is so valuable too of I'm going to go to the pool. I might watch dad swim in the pool today, or maybe I just like we're like throw things in the water. Practice
Mhm,
that, Duck jumps in the water, pig jumps in the water. Look at that
mhm.
big splash. You're talking about it, you're getting comfortable with it, and if that's all you do, awesome.
That's a win. You were around the new environment, experienced it, took away language from those moments, and stayed regulated throughout that time.
Yeah, that strategy self talk is so powerful. We use it all the time in our sessions. We use it, in schools with toys and everyday routines.
Yeah, love using it like bath time or talking through like a nighttime routine. First, I'm going to change the diaper. Now I'm getting our book. Now I'm excited to read to you. Let's read our book so that your child is understanding the language to use through those situations. It becomes more predictable and you're just giving free vocabulary, no expense.
No, yeah.
We'll
Well,
take
I
it.
think that's kind of a wrap on our pod today.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you have some tips for navigating the pool or any new environment, starting with that preview, familiarity, and using that self talk strategy.
Nice. That's three good things. Love it. Wish our niece luck. I think she's got one more week at the pool. So actually, yeah, we got to
Tomorrow might be the
check
last day. We
in.
gotta
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
up.
I think
Yeah.
this was the second week. So we'll check back in. Hopefully, she's more into the blue Wawa.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But you can find us on cheatsheetspeech.com, or Cheat Sheet Speech is our Instagram. Feel
Mhm.
free to comment with any questions that you might have for speech therapists. We do not offer medical advice, but we can offer educational advice.
Yes, that's very important educational advice. And we do have a weekly play plan that comes out if you sign up for our emails. So that's just going to tell you how to use one book, one toy, one household item throughout your week, bunch of different ways to use it, language strategies, so that we're not having to buy a bunch of things, and we can use these things in very purposeful ways to help build language.
Yeah. All right. See you next time.
See you next
Happy
time.
communicating.
Love it.